Okay. Hello, world. Welcome to the Automating AWS with Python and Boto3 workshop. We have a really qualified person with us here, which is Adil Shehzad. He is an author on Educative, and he has experience doing DevOps in multiple platforms, not just AWS. So I'll be handing over to Adil now. Adil.
Yeah, hey everyone. I hope you are doing very well. So today we just have a session with automating Amazon Web Services using AWS Lambda, Python, and Boto3. So before we just get started, I would just like to introduce about me. As I just introduce as he introduced me, but I'm a DevOps engineer and also an author at Educative, working on some informative courses with the help of Educative. And later on, I just do some improving my skills on a daily basis. So this is actually the table of content, how we just follow up this workshop. So before we just get started implementing Boto 3 and AWS, first we will cover up the concepts of basic of the cloud computing, like what is cloud computing, about the cloud computing models, serverless architect, and then we will have a hands-on session in the end. Has everyone now? Pratham, I'm audible and everything is going so well. So
Yes, yes. Everything is
yeah,
fine.
sure.
You're audible.
Okay, okay. So, everyone now, what is cloud computing? Like, if you are just on Facebook, you just saw some memes like you are using someone else's computer. So this is actually the basic definition of cloud computing for everyone who need to be get started with the cloud. Like you are renting some resources to get started. Like if you are working as an organization and you don't have some money, like I can't go with the on-prem servers. On-prem servers means private, the organization which are only limited to the organizations, and I can't buy a space, electricity, maintenance, and I don't have so much money. So public cloud provide me a facility where I just go and I just choose the instance machine, at the size of the machine, the memory of the machine, the database which I just needed, and I just good to go. I just have all of the resources. I can start my organization with the help of cloud computing. So there are some three models which are everywhere. Like if you get started with AWS, Microsoft Azure, or Google Cloud, you will see these three models: a public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. The public cloud is you are renting services from a public cloud providers like Google, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud. And the private is only limited to the organization. Like the person like me who's not the part of the organization can't access the private cloud. They are only limited to the organization. The private cloud are really expensive. They need a space, they need maintenance, they need electricity, they need internet connection. And hybrid is a mixture of public and private cloud. So there are some cloud models which need to be studied before we just get started some implementation. As you see, if any one of you have idea about the cloud basics, and you will see like I just some just reading about the three models, why they are just five models. So they are actually the five models, like infrastructure as a services, platform as a services, software as a services, backend as a services, and function as a services, which is also to be called a serverless. So infrastructure, let's get started with what is infrastructure as a services. So in the infrastructure as a services, you are more focused on the infrastructure side, like memory, networking, compute, all the resources. You are having importance about the infrastructure side of your cloud networks. In the platform side, you don't need to be worried about the infrastructure, about the machine. You don't need to be worried. You have to be worried about the operating system, testing and patchings of your application. In the software as a services, if I just give you an example, like Gmail is the one of the best example. If you wanna now what is software as a services on Gmail, whenever you just open the Gmail account, you just go to email. If you want to write some email to someone, you just write the email, and just if you want to attach something, you attach and just send. You are not worried about the operating system the organization is using, like Google is using what kind of operating system. You are not worried about that. And you are also not worried about the infrastructure, about the machine, about the networking, about the database. You are also not worried about the maintenance of infrastructure. So software as a services, if someone asks you about what is software as a services, so Gmail is a good example to go for. In the backend as a service, you are more focused on your application front end. Your backend is maintained by the public cloud providers. Like for example, if I have a backend, just which is actually I have a database which is on that which I'm using for DynamoDB, and I have my Python backend. For that, I just only need to be sure about my front end. Function has a services which is to be called serverless, where we are not worried about the infrastructure. We also not worried about the maintenance of our infrastructure. We only have to be focused on our code. So I hope cloud models are now clear to you. And now, as I already explained all of these models in a very detail, let me just show you. So if any of the concept just miss to you, like for example, as I just already covered about what is cloud computing, cloud basics in advance, about the old era, and what is about today, what kind of cloud technologies are now using nowadays. Also in detail about the public cloud, private cloud. So I'll just share the link later on. Let's focus now on AWS serverless architect. So So, on the serverless architect, sure there are some servers in the backend which are not managed by you but are managed by the public cloud providers. Like for example, if I'm using AWS services, so it's are managed by AWS. So I don't need to be worried about the virtual private cloud, and also I don't need to be worried about networking cables, about the maintenance. So I just need to be worried about my code which I am working on, which is really important for the serverless. So what are the actually benefits of serverless? So you don't need to be worried about the infrastructure management. So this burden is removed from your side. It's scalable. Like for example, if you have sometime you just got a lot of traffic, so it's scale. So it's very I think a coolest feature from AWS Lambda. So it's reduce your cost. As you know, you are not maintaining your infrastructure. You are not maintaining your operating system patching, so you don't need to be worried so about the cost. It's very minimum, and it's easy to deploy. As we will when we just do the hands-on session, you will get everything related to serverless. But yeah, there are some advantages and also some disadvantages, and we need to be look after advantages as well. So sometime when you just not look after into your functions means serverless code, it will be stopped after a few, for example, if I'm for the long time I'm not see my functions, so it will be automatically stopped, which is actually a drawback. And also tenancy concerns, for example, the security related concerns which can be, like if some vulnerabilities in your code, so it might be a security concern for you. And monitoring is really tough on serverless thing, from where traffic is come in and come out, and it's really cost you some time. So before we get started with serverless, this is really important, we get to know about what is API gateway. So API gateways are where with the advanced feature which the from out from the outside of the world, if someone access your AWS Lambda function, you are providing something like I just created a serverless website and it's open to the world, and someone access to it. Before he access to my AWS Lambda, my website, he will access to my API gateway. And API gateway will decide whether I need to authenticate, validate, or monitor this one or not. So this is where API gateway will help us. Now, I think we need to be focused. What is AWS Lambda? As we already learned about what is function as a services, that we don't need to be worried about infrastructure. We need to be focused on our, our code. So this is all about AWS Lambda. That we are not maintaining our infrastructure. We are just worried about our code, which trigger and give us the result. And also, what is Boto 3? Boto 3 is an open source SDK which is created by Amazon Web Services, through which you can manage AWS and automate your AWS task with the help of Boto 3. So I hope if anyone have a question before we just get started with the workshop, if anyone, Param, no questions.
No questions so far.
Oops, okay. So now I'm on my AWS management console, and here if you see it's a demo account which I just created for this workshop, and I'm right now on EAUS East one. So it's a dashboard. From here you can access to all of your services. Like mostly we use AWS EC2, AWS Lambda, and IAM, which we will be used for this. Like I will not right now. I'll be focused on API Gateway, but right now I will be focused on CloudWatch, IAM, AWS Lambda, and EC2. Okay, so let's click on AWS Lambda, and here I will just create a function. And here from here I will just create my function, and I just need to give it a name. And I'll just give it a name. So what we are actually going to do? It's really important. We just get started with the workshop. So in this workshop, I'm just going to do. So we will trigger a task. We are actually going to schedule it using the cron jobs, and it will trigger at the specific time, and it will trigger the lambda, and lambda will stop all of the instances which are currently running. I know sometime in the organization you just have production, and such kind of scripts really stop all of your environment, and that's really not something which need to be done. But sometime some of the instances you don't need, like for example, I'm just working from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and after this I don't want my instance to be on, so I can get started from tomorrow. So in such meantime I can schedule a task, and I just trigger with the help of AWS Lambda, and it will stop my machines at the specific time, and it will share with Amazon CloudWatch. And also, if you want more into, you can add SCS, uh, Amazon Simple Notification Service, which will notify you your instances has been stopped, and when it will come up, like for example, I just started with my job at 9 a.m. It will start again. So also I need to assign some permission. We will do in this workshop. So here I'm just going to create a function ec2 lambda of on. I'm just going to assign it Python 3.7 in the scroll down, and I'm just going to give it permission, and I'm just going to create a new role with basic lambda permission right now, and I just click on create lambda. Also, so this is the console of our AWS Lambda. Here we just have a code editor. We will add our code into, and here we just have some settings, like we have some configuration. We need to, from here I am going to permissions, and I'm just going to my role name. I need to change something, like he just giving me some minimum permissions, and I need to add some more permissions into it. So I want to access my EC2. So from here I need to change some JSON changings, and I just need some changings, and I'm just clicking on JSON. If you just see here, it's only allowing me uh, CloudWatch. Like I can only access to CloudWatch. And if I just want to turn off my instances, I just need to change into that. Like I can't change my EC2 machine from such permission, so I just need to change them. From here I'm just going to my group, CloudWatch group, and I'm just going to create a new group. I'm just going to name it, and I just give it, I'm just going to create. So as I already created the imjson file, in this file let me explain you what's going on. If you just go up here, it will just put some our cloud logs into CloudWatch. Also it will allow to describe the instances, describe region, stop the instances, and start the instance, and it will start on all of the instances in all the regions. With that, from this start we can access all of them. I'm actually reviewing it. So here if you just see, now we have a CloudWatch, and now we have a EC2 where we have limit of list and write. We can't read, we can list and we can write right here. So I'm just going to save it. And also I created my log with the EC2 lambda off. Okay, now I need to go back. I'm just going up, and here I need to add a trigger. Here I will add CloudWatch. As we just created a one task, the name is lambda EC2 lambda off. So this one, and I'm just going to my lambda trigger, and I'm just going to save it. Okay, so now let we just trigger, whenever we just trigger, it will send our logs to CloudWatch. Now we need to change the code, which is really important if we want to automate our AWS infrastructure. First, we need to import Boto3. So I'm just going to import Boto3, and here I just created a function which is lambda handler, and we are actually using lambda handler here. Like this is my lambda function. If you just saw, this is my lambda function dot, it will access this function lambda dot handler. So that's why I just created this name lambda handler. Okay, I think it's good. I'm just more into AWS lambda, so I'll just go to it. Okay, can you see my VS Code screen?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay. Actually, for the coding, I usually prefer a VS Code. So, okay, I'm just going to create a client, and I'm just going to give it a name of EC2, and from EC Boto3, I am going to access EC2, which is actually the name of AWS services we need to turn off. Also, we need to check in all of the regions, so I'm going to create another variable, and here I just created a list, and inside this list I am going to find a region name. Okay, so it will check the region in EC2. It will check the EC2 client have EC2 service in the specific region. It will check, and it will give us some result. Okay, okay, it's look bad here. Yeah, now we are just good to go. Okay, this is actually describe region is actually the built-in function of Boto3. You can check the cheat sheet from Google. Okay, so now I need to list all of the region from region. It will fetch all of the regions, and I'm just going to use format which will give me all the region. And I'm just going to give it a name. Region name will be region. So here what I'm actually going to do, so usually if let me just go back. So what I just did, here we just have all of the regions, and I just get all of the region list with the help of Boto3. Also, and now I need to check what kind of instances are running. For this, I need to filter them out. With the filter them out, like from here, we just filter like name. We need to provide the name as this instance doesn't have any instance, so that's why it's not giving me some filters. So I'm just going to fetch using name, and I'm just checking what kind of instances are running or not. For this, I need to provide a value. For filtering, we need name and value on it or AWS. So I'm just going back and I'm just giving it a filter. Here I'm going to give him a filter, which is what is the name of the state, and also value. The value will be the one the machine is running. Okay, so here it will stop the instance, also print it, and I will instance.id. So let me just copy this, and I'm just going back to my AWS Lambda, and here I just paste the code. We just import Boto3 here, and also we created a function. Inside the function, we created a client, and with the help of Boto3, it will find out the service EC2, and we list all of the regions. It will just go to all of the region and find the EC2 one by one, one by one, one by one. After this, we just filter out the instance in all of the region. It will check what kind of which instance is running or which instance is stop. The instance which is running, and it will stop the instance, and after this it will just stop the instance. Okay. Deploy means you can save your code. It will not deploy somewhere. It just AWS change the save button to deploy. Also, I need to change the time for where it just trigger for 3 seconds, which is not the enough time to check all of the regions. For this, I will give him a time of 1 minute and 3 seconds. I'm just going to save it. So has you know, I don't have any kind of instance. So let's launch a new instance. I'm going to create an Amazon instance, and I'm good to go with T2 micro. And number of instance might be three. Let's create three instance. And here I'm not going, yeah, we just good to go, and I'm just going to give it an good to go if you don't add. So I don't want to open it to the world so anyone can access. I'm just secure for this security reason. I'm going to turn off my security groups, because I'm not going to use these instances. This is for this demonstration purpose. For this, I am proceed without keys, and I'm just launching the instance. I'm just checking. So we have three instances which are pending. Let's wait. It's until they just get started. It's pending. Let's wait. Here everything is well, and yeah, they are now running. If we just go back and test our code, for this I am not going to provide any value because I did not create any parameter. For that, I need to give my value. I'm just going to create a name, and I'm just going to create. For this, I am now going to test. Let's see. So here we just have some error. So we have not described region. Actually, we have described regions. Now we need to deploy. We need to save and let's see. Oops. We have some functions and instance step name and the value is um, filters. Actually, as you just see, I'm not more focused on my infrastructure, not focused on operating system, what kind of operating system I'm using. I need to be focused on my code. Sometimes code just gives us an error, and sometimes you do type typical mistakes, and sometimes you have some security issues. So you have to be worried about your code. So here we just have our execution result. As you see, we are right now in US1 as I created my machines in US1. So I just have instances. I don't have any instance in other region. Like I just don't have any region in North EU1. So here I just have three instances in US East one. If you just see my screen, so it will stop these three instances. Right now it's running. It's not. Let me refresh, and it just stopped the instances. And if I just go back from where we just can get the result, and if I just refresh, and if I just scroll down, we just created a group called Lambda, EC2 Lambda off. And here we don't have any. Let me just go back to AWS Lambda from our logs monitoring. We can also access to our log monitoring, like monitor. And here sometime CloudWatch just get the logs after some time, 1 or 2 minutes, but we can access our log. So here it just give the request. It's one request, and I just turn off the instance, and we just have second request and third request. So we just have logs saved to our CloudWatch. You can also check the logs from here. Okay, so this is simple. I just share. You will get all of the code in this. I just already share about what is IM code and about the Python code here. So you can get this code from my blog. Don't need to be worried about code or anything. Try to implement yourself, so you will just get better idea how things are going on. So this is our log now. Now we just have three logs to our CloudWatch. One, two, three. So you can check the log stream. If anyone have any question, please feel free to ask. And now we have a session time, question answer time. Hey Param, any question for me?
Thank you very much, Adil. Yes, we do have some questions for you. Let's go ahead to the questions. So in the chat, we have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Will the procedure be similar for Google Cloud Platform if we want to do the same things that
No,
we did here?
the same process for Google Cloud.
Yes, yes.
No, actually, Google Cloud Boto3 is created by Amazon Web Services, which is actually a Python SDK. So I think for this you are only limited to Amazon Web Services, but for Google Cloud you can use Terraform. You can automate your infrastructure with the help of Terraform. On
Hmm.
Terraform you are not limited. So try to get started your journey with Terraform, or might be we
Hmm.
can do another session on Terraform.
Yes, please. That would be awesome. You realize that this is not the last time we're seeing you. We are planning to have you over again.
Yeah, sure, no worries.
Okay, now we'll have a couple of more questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
So For a very big organization that highly relies on using the cloud for deploying its applications, will it be necessary for them to automate the cloud infrastructure like you did, or will they be okay navigating through the graphical user interface for shutting down all instances at once?
So for this, I think we can't automate all of our infrastructure. Sometimes we need continuously delivery, and sometimes we need continuously deployment. If you have any idea about how continuously deployment and delivery works, there is a manual
Mhm.
process in continuously delivery. Like you sometimes you need manual process, a human interaction. So your production, your staging deployment will not get any kind of wrong. So for
Mhm.
basic task, like for example, I have an organization. I need to send an email, a kind of email to my employees at a specific time. So I can't, hire someone so he can send an email at a specific time. So I can automate such kind of task. Like I
Mhm.
just automate it, it will send the email at the specific time. Or might be we can do anything, like for example, as I told you, we have our machines just which are based on schedule, like they are working from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Okay, after this
Mhm.
time there is no purpose, like employees just get off. Employees is after the 6 p.m. employees is not working, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. job. In such jobs, after this instance will just cost you some money. So from this you can do some such trigger. So I just forget how you can trigger the cron job. Let's do that. So
Mhm.
let me just go to cloud watch. From here we need to go to events. From here we create a rule, and they just changed to Amazon event bridge, so I need to revert to event bridge. So here I just need to create a new rule, and I'm just going to give it a name, EC2 lambda off. You can also create a similar code which will turn on the EC2 instance at the specific time. So it's up to you. It's your art. So we can also do some cron job. We can also fix a rate like after 1 hour, like after every 1 hour, or might be after 1 day, it will turn on or it will do this job. Okay, there is a cron job. You can also also create your jobs at a specific time. Cron job. So here cron job, free cron job. So from here you can easily get cron job organization. Oops. So you can after every minute, every hour, and after every 5 day. So they will execute. I never use such things. Cron job. Yeah, this one I used last time. Yeah. So from here you can add 4 5, it will just turn off the instances, or might be after every 5 minutes it will just turn off the instances, or might be if I just need every past every minute past for after every 5 or it will just turn off our instance. It's look good to me. You can also do so. I'm just going to provide, and it will just this is a cron job expression, and what I just need to trigger, I'm just going to target my lambda function, and my lambda function is equal to lambda. So I'm actually going to create it. So it will okay, I think AWS is using some different. So AWS is using some different kind of the cron jobs. You can study it later, but we mostly use from here. And I just schedule this task for every 2 days. So yeah, we just created a rule EC2 lambda, and it will trigger the AWS lambda itself, and we can just do it. So this is optional. You can do with the help of cron job and also with the help of AWS built-in scheduler. So it will just trigger the AWS lambda at a specific time, and it will just do your job. I think anyone have any question or something?
Yes, yes, Adil. Thank you very much for that. I think we have even more questions now. So, since you showed us how to use Boto3,
Mm-hmm.
it is simply a Python library that is used as an AWS SDK.
Yeah.
We have many other serverless platforms as well. We have Azure functions, and we can also
Yes.
deploy
I
functions
also
on.
work on also work on Azure functions and also on Google functions. So I have idea how things are going on. But the thing is, AWS Lambda is really good in the marketplace. Like they have a really good shares. So if you want to start your journey, get started with AWS Lambda.
Mhm. Okay, that makes sense. But since Boto3 is simply a Python library that we can have
Mm-hmm.
in on any platform, if we
Mm-hmm.
have instances running on AWS and we want to use Boto3 on any other platform,
Mm-hmm.
any other serverless platform, is it
Mm-hmm.
possible to do that?
You mean managing multiple cloud?
Yes,
It's
yes.
Yeah, I think we have Terraform for that. Boto3 is created by AWS, which is actually a SDK of AWS, so it's only limited to AWS. If we want to manage multiple cloud, we can use Terraform. And
Mm-hmm.
how we can manage multiple cloud at the same time, we can do this session like how you can manage multiple cloud platform with the help of Terraform, like AWS, Microsoft, and Google Cloud at the same time. We created some machine at the same time with the help of Terraform init, Terraform apply, and Terraform push, and Terraform apply, and it will just apply all of our changes. But there's some code work, a lot of code work which we just need to be done. But we can get started with the basic one like we just did. We created a Boto3 simple script, like we just get all of the list of the regions, and after this we will filter some of the instances we just need. We can also filter instances, like for example, by their name, like for example, if an employee name, if we can just filter them with their name. If an instance is stopped, just change the code value from running to stop, and it will just start all of the instances, and also just change instance dot stop from instance dot start. So you can just get a code of start, how you can start those instances at the same moment. And there's a lot which can be done, as I already shared my another blog where from where you can create a serverless web application with the help of AWS REST API and a DynamoDB. And it's really
Mm-hmm.
cool if you just saw and implement it on your own self. It's another great one. So for if you want to manage multiple cloud at the same time, Terraform is the best choice, I really believe.
Mm-hmm.
Every tool specifically is designed for its own purpose. Like if we just see the beauty of Boto3, we can't compare him with the Terraform. And if we saw Terraform, we can't compare him with Boto3. Everyone has its own specific function. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I agree. Okay, so now that we talked so much about Boto 3, we have a couple of trivia questions for you. So, I previously saw the AWS web page. We have lots of SDKs. Boto 3 is one of the official SDKs provided by AWS
Yeah, yeah.
for
Mm-hmm,
its users. So,
mm-hmm,
there are many other SDKs. We have SDKs for Node.js as well. We have SDKs for Java and C++ as well.
mm-hmm.
But why do people prefer using Boto 3?
Yeah, actually, I believe I am not a Node.js fan. I'm a Python fan, so that might be a reason, your uh, personal reason. And I just saw uh Python is really easy to learn. Like if someone a non-coder who are looking into, it's just like you are giving a reading into English. You are explaining someone in English, like what we just did. We just list a EC2 instance in a region and filter them out, and we just stop. What we just did,
Hmm,
we just did that. Like how simple in Python. So
definitely.
yeah. So that's
No
why I
curly
think
braces
this is a
involved.
yeah, yeah. That's the reason I think Boto 3 is much preferable. And for the serverless, I think Python is a good choice to get started.
Mm-hmm. I see. Well, that I'll have to agree, because when you write code in Python, it looks so much more readable compared to the other languages.
Compared to
And
other languages.
let's talk about data exchange right now. So there are many formats used for exchanging data and for writing configurations in DevOps. Uh, there are three of them which are the most well known. Which one of them, YAML, JSON, or XML, is your favorite?
Yeah, actually, my favorite is YAML, yet another markup language. Reason is if you learn the YAML, you get started with Kubernetes, you can get started with Docker, and you can also get started with GitHub Actions.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
the
see.
power of YAML. And I just saw some of the front end. I'm not very good into front end, to be honest with you. So some of the website in the front end are using YAML. So might
Mm-hmm.
be this can also help you to get started with the front end. I'm a DevOps guy, so I'm more depend on YAML. Sometime on JSON, I believe JSON can easily be read. Uh, Other than YAML. So more focused on YAML because most of our scripts of Kubernetes, Docker, and GitHub Actions are on YAML based. So that's why.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And you reminded me, by mentioning front end, you reminded me of a templating engine named Jade. We recently have a newer version called Pug, which uses a very
Mm-hmm,
YAML-like syntax for designing front ends. So
mm-hmm.
I think that's what you are talking
Awesome.
about. Yes, and
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have one
yeah.
more question.
That's yeah, sure.
And we have one more question for you. So, right now, you created a cron job that triggers itself every 2 days, and it
Mm-hmm,
calls that Lambda function that you just created, which
mm-hmm.
shuts down all the instances and gives data in the form of logs.
Yeah.
In addition to Lambda functions, what else can we trigger using cron jobs in Amazon Event Bridge?
So as you just see, we can trigger other the services more than the AWS Lambda. And if I just share my screen, so I think entire screen. So I think we were there on event page. So if I'm going to add this one. So here if you just see, we can trigger Redshift cluster, we can trigger SNS, we can trigger other AWS services too. So there's a lot of services which are covered on AWS. From with the help of cron job you can schedule. Actually it's event bridge is more than scheduling task. If you just see, you can also create some pattern, like if you want to a specific AWS services or a partner service, you can also trigger it. Like if I just want Lambda, so here Lambda, and I'm going to create the type all events, and also I just create event like that. But I just right now we are more focused on schedule. From here we can create a cron job, or also we can use AWS, so we can task after every 60 minutes, so it should be a 1 hour. So here we can target the Lambda, but we can also target the red cluster, SNS, SQA, simple queue service, simple notification service, or other services of AWS cloud. So yeah, it's more than a AWS Lambda.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that seems very interesting. So there's a lot we can do using the event triggers. And the final question
as
is,
as I told, you can also imagine the things yourself. For example, I just did this. You can do it even more than me. Like for example, you can, after the instances to be stopped, you can email to yourself or to your clients that these polling instance has been stopped, and the logs has been, you can also share the CloudWatch logs you on in the email. So this is the thing you can also do. And also you can save your logs in the JSON file in your DynamoDB, so they can be stored permanently. So there's a lot of
mhm.
stuff which can be done with the help of Boto 3. Just go to Google and you can research and you will find more.
Wow, storing it in DynamoDB sounds really fascinating.
Yeah,
Um,
I think so. There's a
the
lot of
last
things which can be done. Yeah, the last one.
the last question that we have for you is again a trivia. So
Mm-hmm.
we just saw you navigating through the graphical user interface of Amazon Web Services. We can
Mm-hmm.
also achieve the same things using the
Mm-hmm.
command line interfaces available for Amazon, which
Yeah.
includes Boto3. So
Mm-hmm.
how fond are you of the command line interface and the graphical user interface?
Actually, it's depend. I usually did not do much task from AWS CLI. I have more focus on AWS GUI. For the multi-cloud platform, I use Terraform. For that, I usually depend on sometimes CLI and Terraform coding, which is actually in HCL Hashi Corporation language, and it's depend on you. That's for the session, and if I just show you coding every time, it will get you more bored. Like I don't want to, for the only create to Lambda function, you need a command, and to add some code, you need a command. So to save yourself, I just found that we can get started with Git UI, and I just found on the YouTube most of the sessions in GUI for Boto3. The purpose is learning, not on the
Hmm.
platform to
I
show
see.
yourself how much skills you have. It's not my purpose. Actually, it's depend. Sometimes we need CLI and sometimes we need GUI. For this session, we are depend that our audience can get more and more from us. The purpose of this session is about learning. So not
Hmm.
about I show my skills to you.
I agree, and it makes sense. It costs you one round of the graphical user interface
Mhm.
to save 10 rounds when you
Yeah,
have to stop the instances.
when you have such kind of features and you are giving a session, so I think it's better good to go the easiest one. Like
Hmm.
the purpose of our is to give some practical, to give people about the cloud knowledge. So understanding is one of the best priority which come first. And also, if you
Hmm.
need a session in Git UI, I can do it. I do it for you. In the next round,
Hmm.
if you want to see a Terraform or Boto3 with the help of CLI, just let me know. We can do another session next week. No worries.
Definitely, we would love to have you again sometime for Terraform because that is very interesting topic.
Mhm.
Something cloud developers fascinate about. So that was it for the session. Thank you very much, Adil. It was really nice having you here. At the end of the session, we will share the presentation and the documentation with the participants. I already shared your blog with everyone. So let's end the session here. Thank you very much.